Welcome all! I'm DFuxa, and this is Barony, the Cursed Edition. For those who basically watched my Delver Let's Play, this is another first-person action type of roguelike. And unlike Delver, this one's a little bit more complete and, like, you know, out of early access, so if you're looking for, like, you know, a first-person action-oriented game with, like, you know, roguelike elements, this is probably the better game to get. And I figured before we go anywhere else, let's just look at the introduction and go from there. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there stood a town called Hamlet. For generations, Hamlet served as a thriving center of commerce for all the neighboring cities, and the luck of its people was second to none. That was until Baron Herx came to rule the land. The Baron, in his endless greed, forced his citizens to dig the surrounding hills for gold, though the earth had never yielded such treasure before. Meanwhile, as the people were forced to work, they schemed to undo their unjust leader. Eventually, they were able to trick him with a promise of gold and sealed him within the mines themselves. However, in the years that passed since the people of Hamlet did away with their ruler, things did not go well for the people of the village. In a twist of fate, a variety of monsters began to erupt from the ground around the town. Some thought to be Herx exacting his revenge from beyond the grave, but none could be sure, and eventually all the trade in and out of the town stopped completely. Today, the region of Hamlet is considered cursed, and no one ever knows if the town still exists. And that's the introduction to Barony, the Cursed Edition. So, I want to note that I've never played this game, and I've actually sort of like interested in like playing it because I liked, you know, playing Delver, but I felt it was like too short a game, Delver, and there wasn't really enough content to it. I basically, you know, found Barony, you know, thus after because it's one of the recommended games that, you know, you could get. It's basically something a reviewer was basically saying, like, get Barony instead of Delver because, like, you know, Barony's like, you know, being developed, or, you know, was still being developed, while Delver wasn't really. Now, before I jump into this game, there's a couple of things I want to do. So, I want to note that I've already set basically the video to be like, you know, 1920 by 1080 in full screen. And, like, you know, I set the audio here and other stuff. But basically, I'm going to look through a couple of other things here. So, I'll note, by the way, this is a WASD game. You can also turn left and turn right with, like, the Q and E keys. Look up with, like, C and look down with Z. This is going to be in a 3D realm, by the way, so it's not going to be, like, 2D, so to speak. It's going to be, like, you know, 3D, you know, levels and stuff. And basically what I'm looking for here, so I can, like, you know, chat with, like, return. Spell this is M, cast spells F, race shield, space, good to know. What I'm basically looking for, there's essentially, like, you know, a couple of things about Barony Cursed Edition that I really don't want to experience, and I think you have the ability to basically turn them off if you want, so... there it is. So here's basically the miscellaneous options in the settings here, and what's basically worth knowing, you got these, like, you know, game flags, and if you want, you can basically turn off, like, you know, or turn on these things that you want. One of these things I want to turn off is Minotaurs. For those who don't know what Minotaurs are, essentially they are Barony Cursed Edition's version of the Splunky Ghost. And if you don't know what the Splunky Ghost is, it's essentially a time limit type of monster that jumps in, and it basically kicks your ass if you feel like you're taking too long in the level. I'm basically gonna, like, you know, ignore the Minotaur for my Let's Plays. Not so much for the fact that, you know, I probably couldn't be quick, but more so I don't want to basically have to, like, you know, be explaining stuff and have a Minotaur come in and hit me in the back, because, you know, it's basically hitting me in the back. There's stuff I'll leave on for now, but, you know, whatever. Now, I'll note, by the way, this is a cooperative game if you want to play it cooperatively. I'm not sure how you play cooperatively, just like, you know, my first, you know, session in it, so to speak. I haven't even played the game yet. But, yeah, guys, just by the way, statistics, you have no high scores yet. Really my first time playing. But we're basically just going to jump in, so there's, like, you know, as character creation, you can select our character, we're going to be male or female. We'll play as a male character. And there's all these classes, so there's Barbarian, a skilled combatant, what they lack in armor they make up for in strength and fighting prowess, the difficulty is normal. There's Warrior, the trained soldier, they are heavily armored and make capable leaders. The Healer, a talented physician, Though they are poor fighters, they can come stocked with medical supplies and other healing abilities. The Rogue. The professional hooligan, dexterous and skilled thieves, though lacking in power and equipment. The Wanderer. Hardened traveler, low in armor and combat ability, but well equipped for a dungeon. The Cleric. Students of the church, fairly well equipped and able in many ways. They are well-rounded adventurers. So basically, you got like your paladin type of character, or I guess it's the Cleric. It's like they go by in this game. The Merchant. A seasoned trader. They are skilled in the market and adept at identifying foreign artifacts. The Wizard. A wise magician. Though frail, they are extremely well-versed in magic. The Arcanist. A cunning spellcaster. Less magically adept than a wizard, but hardier and better equipped. It looks like he uses a gun type of weapon, so... if you've basically played Anais, the Rolik, this is basically, an alchemy type of character, I guess, by the looks of it. He basically uses an alchemy gun. And the Joker. The Wild Card. Jokers come with very little equipment, but they have a few tricks up their sleeves, nonetheless. So that's probably like, your basic, jack of all trades. No idea what I'm gonna do. Alright, so I figure for my first foray into the dungeon, we'll go with like easy class. Let's go with the beginner here. And there's like, different difficulties for all these guys. There's like, differently normal, differently hard. We're gonna go with the word because it's basically saying it's beginner. And I'm not sure what the magic or like, spells are gonna be like in this game, so we'll just go with this guy. And apparently I have appearances, so let's look at these. There's the Landguard, a balanced face of a Landguard. There's the Northborn, a fair complexion of the Northborn. So I guess these are probably based off of like your casual type of racial tendencies, I guess, in the world. So you got like the Landguard, which is basically I guess like your foresty hill people. The Northernborn, which are basically like your Viking type of people. The Firebrand, the wild village of the Firebrand. So your Irish folk, I guess. The Hardbred. The tough features of Hardbred, I guess, is like, your lumberjack type of character, the High Watch. Or fine look of the High Watch. No idea what he's supposed to be, but whatever. The Gloomforge, the audacious heart of the Gloomforge. Very old man, by the looks of it. The Pyre Bloom. The meticulous grooming of the Pyre Bloom. Middle Eastern type of character, I guess. The Snake Stone. The ferocious spirits of the Snake Stone, so basically, I guess you're like, Latino type of character right there. The Wind Clan, a proud demeanor of the Wind Clan. So, another like, Arabic type of character. Bedouin, all that. The Warblood, the immortal passion of the Warblood. Oh yeah, I gotta have that beard for the Warblood type of character. Millbound, the conservative modesty of the Millbound. Sunstock, the single-minded focus of the Sunstock. The practical appearance of the Claymount. Well, there's a guy who's black-skinned. Stoneward, another black skin type of character. Trayfall, another black, skin type of character. The Night Hill, the Bay Tower, and the Wet Song. So you got a few like African type of characters down here, and you got like the other characters along here. So basically, you got like your blacks, your like Africans, and Middle Eastern type of characters. Your Northern European, hill people type of European, island type of European, all the other type of European. I think I'll go with like the Landguard, because I like the whiteness of his face. It sticks with me. And this will be Davian the First of many, hopefully. Oh, okay, so here we go. So basically, I can do single player, I can host multiplayer, I can join multiplayer, I can host multiplayer direct IP or join multiplayer direct IP. So yeah, this is like multiplayer type of game, by the way. And I actually bought this game because like it was 99 cents in Humble when I basically bought it. And I also got a friend to buy it, though he doesn't have a computer to play it. But I figured that, it'd just be like a fun game to play with, like, my friend, perhaps, in the future. Let's jump in. So welcome to Barony, Davian First. Press tab to review your inventory, click the right mouse button to use objects. And apparently you hear a voice inside your head. Ah, another one joins the fray. So that must be the Baron. And I've entered the dungeon. Alright, so it looks like backing up is very difficult. There's like, my round type of thing there. There's a diary of some sort. Can I run? Doesn't seem like there's any running in this game. Okay, there's the, you know, look up, look down. I'm not sure what the point of the up and look down and all that stuff is. Or, like, you know, turning stuff when you basically have, like, you know... Yeah, that's something I know. And, like, there's, like, you know, WASD keys, and then you have, like, the Q and E for turning, and, like, you know, you have, like, Z and, like, Z, you know, for the other stuff. But you have the mouse here. Why not use the mouse for all that type of, like, you know, turning, looking up, looking down, stuff like that. But whatever. Here's my inventory. So, there's Digging Ferris, the level 1 warrior. He's got 0 of 100 experience. He's dungeon level 0, because I'm basically on, like, you know, starting map. My strength is 2, my dexterity is 1. My constitution is -3. My intelligence is -1. My PER is -1, and my charisma is 1. So what is PER, probably? There's some skills. So we have lock, stealth, trading, appraisal, swimming, leader, and casting. So different types of skills. And more skills. We have magic none, range basic, sword skilled, mace none, axe none, polearm skilled, shield skilled. I assume there's probably a guide to basically tell me all about like what all like the stuff does, but I assume there should be like an in-game manual of some sort somewhere. Alright, so apparently I start off with an uncursed short bow, and yes, there's gonna be cursed items in this game to watch out for. There's food I have to watch out for too as well. And you'll actually pay attention to a few things about the food, by the way, because food's actually very interesting how they do it. I start off with a Cyril Iron Spear for a weapon, along with a Cyril Bronze Shield for a shield. I got a Cyril Iron Sword, I guess, is like, you know, a secondary type of weapon. Iron Breastplate, leather boots here, a leather helm. I got a spellbook, an inventory. Nothing in my spellbook for now, because, you know, I don't have anything in my spellbook. Well, apparently I hit the table. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I can shield block. Very useful. I'm used to C being like, you know, the type of thing that I probably press for my character screen pop up, but whatever, I'll get used to these keys as they go along. Okay, enter lets me talk to you guys, so I can type stuff. So basically press enter and you can get into the chat thing. Alright, let's do a little bit of like, you know, what's your interact buttons and stuff like that. So, I'll probably remap these, or if I can remap them, I'm not sure. Click to rebind. Okay, so I can rebind this stuff. That's good to know. Alright, where's your basically thing that lets you, you know, interact with stuff, basically, is what I'm looking for. So, spell list, cast spell, raise shield. Mouse. Left mouse button, inspect objects, drag item, attack. Right mouse button, basically use object or use item. So basically just use the right mouse button to basically use an item or use an object. Left mouse button basically lets me inspect an object, drag an item, or attack. Alright, so it's apparently got, you know, mouse-oriented stuff. Okay. Okay, here's my journal. Alright, there we go. I was wondering why it wasn't popping up. So, brand new copy of my journal. It's unidentified. I think it's probably safe to basically go to, but whatever. And apparently you can drag and drop and stuff in here if you want to. And apparently you can, like, you know, right click to basically read, appraise, and all that stuff. Alright, so let's look at this. My journal. After traveling for days, I finally found it. The ruins of the town once known as Hamlet. This place is a veritable wasteland. Almost nothing is left of the grand building I read about in history books. The only structure still standing is the entrance to the mines. It is quite large, and the door only opens one way. It seems once I go in, there is no coming out. But I am determined to dispel whatever evil has taken its place, and so I must proceed. My only hope is that my quest is not in vain. Gods above, protect me as I enter this forsaken place. Alright, well, I guess it's just a one-page journal. And yeah, you can actually appraise stuff. So, something I know about, like, the, like, you know, identification system in this game. essentially you identify stuff by, like, you know, praising it very, very slowly. So as you see here, I'm basically praising this copy of my journal. And this will basically tell me, you know, what this, like, you know, journal is all basically doing for me. And, you know, I really don't like the fact they basically have, like, you know, everything here, there, and everywhere on the UI. I'm going to put my Fraps recording thing somewhere else so that you can basically see the time I basically spent in the dungeon. Right now I basically spent 5 minutes and something seconds. Yeah, I can't tell it either. Alright, so I'm slowly going to appraise this, and then once I basically appraise this, I'll know if it's, like, cursed or not. And I wonder where I can tell where my hunger type of thing is. You actually get hungry in this game, by the way, after a certain amount of time. But we're almost done appraising the journal here. So failed to identify a brand new copy of my journal. Well, that's just, you know, unfortunate. We'll try appraising again. And apparently you don't see the clock when you're basically out of the tab menu. That's probably a good thing. And wow, there's a abyss down there. I assume if I walk off the edge here, I'll die. So we'll avoid doing that. Okay, you gonna work for me? I have to hit the lever itself. Well, that's, you know, whatever. You have to hit the lever to basically open the lever. I guess that makes sense, but you could have, you know, made the entire base of the lever thing work. I'm gonna basically wait for my journal to be appraised here a little bit before, like, jumping into, like, the main sort of, like, area here, but basically, once I jump into, like, the dungeons, everything's gonna be moving around by itself. So I probably won't see me talking as much as I am right now, and I'll actually start to play a little bit. And I failed to identify another brand new copy, so yay for failure. This is probably because I don't have the ability to identify stuff very well, because I'm only, you know, whatever appraisal. Well, I entered the dungeon, so first level. Here we go.
Well, good luck, Cupid.
Yeah, good luck to you too. Now I have to be very careful. It's very dark in this dungeon, and I can't really see, you know, very well. We'll leave our shield up unless, you know. Oh, there we go. I feel hungry. Hey, look at it. We got a flawless rock in here. So I guess we got, like, a hungry thing as I get, like, you know, hungry. So there's, like, you know, slowly aged bread for me to eat, slowly aged fish. We'll hold off on that for now. There's a skeleton. So yeah, we attacked that skeleton and killed him. And apparently if I want to, I can pick up his stuff. Now, it's worth knowing, you want to be very careful picking up, like, the stuff of your enemies. Basically, this stuff can all be cursed. And, you know, being cursed is probably a bad thing to basically use, so you have to watch out for what they're basically using. I feel weak, so I'm very hungry, so let's eat that, so I basically have to worry about being very hungry. So you have to basically move around, you know, a little bit in this game, or else, like, you know, you'll essentially die from, like, you know, hunger. So you can't basically, you know, wait around doing nothing. Well, okay, so yeah, there's traps in this game. There's a boulder trap. Your equipment has been identified. Total score is 1932. Congratulations, you made the top 10. Your character skill with a weapon has a large effect on your effectiveness with it. So there's a little tip for me. This is stuff I basically had. A flawless 0 rock, uncursed. The guy here had a worn, uncursed bronze sword that, you know, that skeleton I killed. There's this rough ring of teleportation curse, so there's a ring of teleportitis, I basically guess. A decrepit iron helm, so that's cursed as well. And there's also this decrepit iron shield. So yeah, I want to be very careful if somebody's picking up, like, the equipment from, like, your enemies, because it can sometimes be very bad. Let's restart then. Why not? We'll see if I can go a little bit far without, you know, dying instantly.
Someone new.
Let's just see if this is going to say the same thing again, I guess. Yeah, it's basically the same stuff again, so... Appraise. And we'll try again. And by the way, you'll note that that boulder trap just instantly killed me. You have to be very, very aware of the traps in this game because they can, like, mess you up, as you can already see.
All the best.
Oh. Alright, you got that guy. See, I've noticed that guy, like, you know, rat came up to attack me. You have to watch out for, like, the darkness, because you, some enemies can, like, you know, see you from off in the distance. I'm not sure if light plays, like, an effect on that or whatnot, so... And it looks like all the same stuff is here, so... We got that guy. There's an enemy down that direction, apparently. Yeah, you can note they can, like, see through doors a little bit, too. Alright, I assume that, you know, most of the stuff that the skeletons are using is probably crap, so I'm not going to worry about them too much. Let's try praising this cheese. So notice that this is moldy cheese. You want to be very careful what you eat sometimes. Sometimes you'll eat, like, bad stuff, and while that's, like, you know, not probably going to be too bad for me to eat, I have to still be very careful with what I eat. Hey, look at it, my praise ability improved, so as you're trying to praise stuff you get better at. Or as you, like, use your skills you get better at. I'm going to have to change my skills around at some point, because I can barely tell what the hell I'm doing. I also need a torch. There is torches, by the way, in this game that lets you, like, see stuff in front of you, which is good. I'm not sure if that's a trap again. Flawless rock again, I guess. Sure. I guess that's a throwing weapon, the flawless rock. There's a scroll or something. Notice that that's, like, scrolls like randomized text. Sometimes you have to watch out for that. Basically, you know, the scrolls will basically, you know, have random text on them, and you can't really tell what they do. Close that. Okay, the door is locked. Let's bash it down. That guy came out of nowhere to attack me, that sucked. Pick up all his stuff. Whoopsie. Well, I ate the cheese there, didn't mean to do that, but whatever. Let's appraise this rock. Apparently you can't appraise rocks very well. Try appraising this, I guess. You know, definitely have to rebind, like, you know... I need to rebind some of these keys to, like, you know, more important stuff. Or better stuff. There goes that. See, I feel like walking through a door, you can, like, you know, lockpick it probably, but... There's the other way of doing it. You basically just bash it down. Ugh, my mouse is not responding as I want to, so... Okay, I took that torch. Now, the reason I took this torch... If I want to, I could basically, you know, unequip this, and equip the torch. So there we go, I got a torch here, as you can see. And this torch basically lets me see around me a little bit more. Well, I failed to identify that. That sucks. Alright, well, I got someone else coming for me. And, you know, it'd be nice if my thing would let me do stuff. Hey, look, I leveled up. So you feel hard, you feel observant, and you feel wise. So as you level up, you gain skills, of course. Skills are important for doing stuff. And it's probably a good thing I don't have a Minotaur to worry about because, you know, if I had a Minotaur running around, that'd probably make things a whole lot more difficult to basically do. There's a plain blue potion, and you notice this says plain blue, it could be anything. Well, I failed to identify that stuff yet again. Now, I'll note by the way that skeletons and I think like animals are hostile to each other. So like they'll fight each other if they come across each other. I'm not sure if I slowed down with like more items carried either, so just to throw it out there, there could be a lot of stuff I'm doing wrong or right. No idea. There's a tombstone. Here lies Ingrid, spooked by a scary skeleton. The headstone was engraved. I don't appear to be moving very fast, so I assume that there's like, you know, inventory things to worry about. Basically, as you like have more like, you know, stuff in your inventory, it gets harder to basically move around. Hey, identified, so it's just, you know, uncursed. Oh, I guess I didn't have to do that to him. He just exploded as soon as he got too close. The torch flickers in the darkness. Yeah, I'm definitely getting slower as I pick up more stuff, so we gotta drop some of the stuff, I guess. So drop. Try praising this again, perhaps. Drop that. So, note that the weight in this is very, like, you know, interesting. You carry too much and you start to slow down a lot. Oh, what the? My torch went out at the wrong time. Am I blind? Is that what's going on? I see it, you know, I have the mini-map, so I guess I was temporarily blinded there. So, I'm not sure if this is a shrine or what. But, that was interesting. Fountain blesses your equipment. The fountain dries up. So, basically these are like shrines. These like, you know, fountain I'm basically going after. And there's a Circle Iron Helm I want to check out, so let's praise that. We're gonna drop this and drop that stuff. I assume there's spiders or something around because I hear like skittering on the ground. Oh, I failed to, you know, go after that, so let's praise this for now. And we can just eat that to get rid of our hunger a little bit. So it looks like the different types of things that you can eat or, you know, take basically do different things. What does this potion do? So identify a swirly yellow bottle of booze. So that is apparently cursed. Let's just, you know, drop that then. Not gonna worry about it. That's this bottle of water. So we'll drink that. Tastes like water. So food's very easy to identify, as you can see, honestly. And it helps if you're, like, you know, identification a lot more than the other stuff. I feel weak because I'm basically, you know, hungry, so... Eat that. And by the way, you can also wield potions, so... I bet in, like, you know, DCSS type of terms, you can throw potions at people, I think. Which might be very interesting to do. There's a rough ring. I wonder what the ring will do for me. Alright, let's try identifying you. Eventually I'll get better at, like, you know, appraising stuff, and then stuff will get easier for me. Ugh. Those boulders are, you know, something else. I can see why you want to turn off certain things like boulders, because they're just, like, you know, hard to dodge or anything. So exercise your different skills to increase them, obviously. Good to know. Let's say that's it for my first, like, you know, voyage into, like, you know, the Barony Cursed Edition. I'll try again in the future, but for now, that'll be, like, the first episode. Take care, all.